Okay, so once you get the lapghan the size that you want, just make sure that it is still a square. And the way I do it is I count from, you have the very center square, and then I count each direction how many bars of color I have out, you know, going each way. In other words, side to side, and the top and the bottom. Okay, I don't count that center square, but then I start counting the bars out of color each direction, and they need to be the same number. That will ensure that your blanket is still square. Now, I went ahead and enlarged mine quite large. Mine end up being, right now, it is 9 bars of color out from the center square going in each direction. Okay, so now I'm ready to start the border. Okay, so for the border, we want to, well, what I did is that I looked at what colors I have going all the way around for this final round of colored bars, and I picked the color that I haven't used. Okay, so on this outer round, I have all the colors of the 5 colors that I've been using except for the white, and so I'm going to use the white to go around in this border section. The first color, you're going to use 3 of the colors of your 5 that you've picked out to finish up your border. Okay, so what you do is the first round of the border, you start, make sure that you've got the right side facing. That's facing you. That's why I have a little mark on the very center square of my blanket, a marker, and so I know that that one, if it's facing up, that's the right side. Okay, so I want to make sure this is I'm starting on the right side, and I start at the marker, this is the second marker, the one that we've been using to move each time. Okay, and that helps us to know where to start the next bar. So that's where we want to begin. Okay, so we take our the first border color that we want to use, which for me it's the white, and I join with the slip stitch. Okay, or you just draw up the loop and then you chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you put 2 double crochets into that same corner space. So 1, 2. Okay, then chain 1. Okay, and now we're going to go just like we've done previously, and we're going to do in each of the holes, there, all the way across. We're going to do 3 double crochets in each one with a chain 1 in the middle, in between them, sorry. Okay, so we have 3 double crochets, and I chained 1, and so in our next hole, I know this is black and you can't, it's hard to see, and put my hand back there. Okay, so the next hole right there, I'm going to put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1. Oh, I need more yarn. I went ahead and caked the remainder of this skein up because it was getting really floppy out there. Okay. Okay, and then now I go into the next chain space and put 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and now I go into the next one. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, next one. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Okay, so you do that, and you're going to go all the way across the length, and mine's pretty long now, but we need to go all the way across the length. In each of those chain spaces, we're going to do 3 double crochets, and then chain 1, and then 3 double crochets in the next one, chain 1, and do that all the way till you get to the end, which is, this is the end of that side for me, until we get to right the end spaces, and then I will come back and show you what you do in the corner. It's and how you continue on, because before, remember, we just did a bar and we went to the end and then we went back the other direction. Okay, well now we're going to go around. Okay, so continue on and I'll meet you back up at the corner. Okay, so now I'm coming up to the corner, my first corner. So I'm continuing on with the 3 double crochets into the chain spaces and then the chain 1 in between. So I chained 1 right there. I'm going to go in here and do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and now I'm in my corners chain space. Okay, so for the corners we're just going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to put 3 double crochets back into that same space, and that will make our corner. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're back to the chain 1s between the 3 double crochet groupings. So chain 1, and now we're going to turn our work, and now we're going to go down this side doing the same thing. 3 double crochets into the chain spaces and then a chain 1 in between. So I chained 1 already, so now I'm going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Now I'm going to go into the next chain space. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Okay, now so I'm going to go all the way down this side. Okay, all the way down. It's over here. And then when I get to the next corner, okay, so I'll do 3 double crochet, chain 1 here, 3 double crochet, chain 1 here, and then I'm in the next corner space right there. Okay, so then I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in that same space, and that will make my next corner. And then I will go down this side doing the same thing. Chain 1, 3 double crochets there, chain 1, and 3 double crochets in the next chain space, and so on all the way down to our next corner. Okay, so that would be the 3rd corner, and then I'm going to do the same thing, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in the next corner, and then I'm going to go all the way down, and so I will meet you up at the very first corner that we started, and I'll show you how we finished this round off. Okay, so we just keep repeating the same thing. Okay, so I'll meet you up at the end of this round. Okay, so I'm coming up upon the very first, well, the last corner or very first corner actually where I started in this one round. Okay, so I chained 1 here, so I've got 1 more chain space here to do I know it's black on black, sorry, the 3 double crochets in right there. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Okay, so now I'm in the corner where I started. See, here's my marker, okay? So I don't think that we need the marker anymore, so I'm going to take that out. Okay, so now into the corner into the corner space where we started, I'm going to put 3 double crochets because I need to complete this corner. 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now in all the other corners that we've been doing on this round, we were doing 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet for our corner. Well, for only this one, okay, we're going to do 3 double crochet because remember we started with 3 double crochets here, and so that's half of our corner. So we do 3 double crochet to complete the corner, but instead of doing chain 2 and joining to complete that corner, we're not going to chain 2, we're going to do a half double crochet. So we yarn over, and then we're going to put it into the top of that first chain 3 where we started. Okay, let me zoom you up a little bit here. Okay, so we're going to chain 2, no, I'm sorry, not chain. We're going to half double crochet, so yarn over, and then we're going to go into the top of that chain 3 that we started with. Okay, so we go into it, we yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we yarn over and pull up those 3 loops on the hook, and that makes a half double crochet. Now the reason that we do that is because that ends us up where our hook is going to be right in the middle of the chain, instead of, it won't, if you just slip stitched, okay, if you just slip stitched, then your hook would be over here, and that is, we want to end up in the chain space so then we can go on to the next round. Okay, so now you could, well, yes, okay, so never mind. So that's the way the pattern says to do it, so we're going to do it that way, because which is a very good way to do it, because we're ending up right where we need to be when we turn. Okay, so we half double crocheted into the top of the chain 3 space that we started with, okay, and that completes the first round of this border round, okay, a border section, I guess you'd say. Border bar? I don't know. Okay, so now it says we need to turn our work. Okay, so we're gonna turn our work. So now we're gonna be working. Sorry, I'm out of the screen, but since my blanket's pretty big, I'm having to shift it around. Okay, so now we're gonna be working on the wrong side of the work. Okay, now let me zoom you back out so you can get a better view of what I'm doing here. Okay, so now, since we turned our work, now we're working on the wrong side of the blanket. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to continue on the way we did before. Now see how that is really loopy right there, so I'm going to do my chain 3 again, because I didn't like that chain 3. Pull it up a little bit. Okay, now chain 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Okay, so see how we ended up, since we did that half double crochet, we ended up in the middle of that chain loop, which is good. That's where we need to be. Okay, so now we're going to do 2 double crochets, and that will, because this chain up 3 counts for 1 double crochet, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, and that will complete our first 3 double crochet group, right? Okay, so chain 1. Now we're going to repeat, we're going to do a second row, and we're going to repeat exactly what we did in this first row, okay? So we're going to we chained 1, I already did that. So now 3 double crochet in the next chain space. 1, 2, I need more yarn. 3, okay. Chain 1, okay, now we're going to go to the next one. We're going to do 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3. So we are just continuing this granny stitch pattern that we've been doing for all the sides. Okay, so let me get more yarn. I had to see, as you see, I had to start on a new skein, and I've got a knot. Okay, so I'll have to fix that. But what I need, or I would like for you to do, is to continue on with this pattern that what we were doing for the first round. We're going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to go with this stitch pattern all the way across to the first corner, and when I get to that first corner, I'm going to do the same thing that we did in last round, where I did 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. I forgot to put it on silent. Sorry. Okay. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that all the way around and complete another round, which would be round 2 of this border section. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing we did with the first one. Okay, and I will meet you up at the end of this round, and then we will do the joining again. Okay, so I'll meet you up there. Okay, so now I'm finishing up round 2, and I've gotten all the way around to my beginning corner. Okay, and remember, in the beginning you already do half of the corner. Those are the first 3 stitches that you are doing. So I'm going to finish this corner by doing, I already chained 1 since I went in my 3 double crochets into this chain space. I already chained one, so now I'm going to go into my very beginning corner with 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and remember that on all the other corners you're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet, but in the very last one, when you're going to join the round to your first stitch, first chain up 3 stitch, instead of doing a chain 2, you're going to half double crochet into that chain up 3. Okay, so yarn over, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet into that chain 3, the first chain 3 that we did on this round. Okay, so half double crochet. Okay, so that gives me in the good spot there in the middle of the chain space, so then I can start my 3rd round. Okay, so what we're doing here, we've already completed 2 rounds, and we're going, and remember it, well, I'm sure you remember because we did it so many times, but each of these bars, each of these color bars that we did has 4 rounds total in the section. So this border is going to have 4 rounds, and so it'll be the same height as the previous bars. Okay, so I'm going to repeat exactly the same thing that we just did, okay, 2 more times, so because this is the end of row 2, so I need to do row 3 and row 4. Okay, and so remember, when you do the half double crochet to join, then you're going to turn your work. Okay, so at the end of each row you turn your work. So in row number 1 we started working on the right side of the work, we turned it, and then so row number 2, which was what I've just completed, was on the wrong side of your work. So now I'm going to flip it back over to the right side again. Okay, and now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 double crochets, and this will be starting my 3rd row, right? So see, each time we're going to do half of our corner, and when we get around, we'll finish the corner at the end. So 3 double crochets, chain 1, and now I'm going to just keep continuing on. 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that, and remember, in the corner I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets until I go all the way back around and I get back up to the beginning again. Okay, and then in the beginning, which was not here, sorry, here, okay, it'd be that hole in the, I'm going to chain 3 and then half double crochet into the top of this chain 3 beginning stitch, and then I'll turn my work, and so I'll be back on the wrong side again of the fabric, and then I'm going to do another round 4. Okay, so I'm going to continue on, and I will meet you up at the end of round 4, right before I'm going to join to the beginning of the beginning of that row, around rather. Okay, so I'll meet you up at the end of round 4. So this is round 3 I'm starting, so do round 3 all the way around, and then flip your work, and then do round 4 all the way around, doing the same thing, and then I will meet you up at the end of round 4. Okay, I'm finishing round 4 of this color, and so when I come up to the end, in the previous rounds, I had you, well, not me, but the pattern said to do 3 double crochets into the corner, because what you're doing is you're finishing the corner. Remember, in the beginning you did half of the corner to start with, right? So I did 3 double crochets here, I chained 1, and now I'm going to do 3 double crochets into my corner chain space. 1, 2, 3, Okay, and then before, when we were making our last corners, we would half double crochet into the top of the chain 3, that we started with. But this time we're going to just slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, just like we did all the other corners. But remember, you chain 2 because you want to make your corner chain space, and then slip stitch into that top of the chain 3 that you began with. Okay, so that is the end of the 4th round of that bar. Okay, and now we're going to change colors. So the pattern says to fasten off. Okay, chain up 1 and then just pull it through to fasten off. Okay, and then we're going to, like all our other rounds, we're going to turn our work over. So turn. Okay, so now we should be on the right side of the fabric again. Okay, so now we're going to take the next color. It's the next color in the sequence of your colors. And we're going to go, it says we can start in any chain 2 space, and so I'm going to start just right into this chain 2 space that's here available to me. And so I'm going to pull up a loop, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then in this same corner space, I'm going to do 2 double crochets, just like I did before. Okay, now what's different about this round is we are going to do 1 double crochet in each double crochet and in each chain space all the way across. So we're finished doing our granny stitch pattern. Okay, so it says 1 double crochet in each double crochet and chain space all the way across. So since there's 3 here, 3 double crochets, we're going to do 3 double crochets across the top there, 1 in each stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we have a chain 1 space, so we're going to double crochet into that, and that's it. And now 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we have our chain 1 space again, so we do 1 double crochet in there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do this all the way across. Okay, and now when we get to our corner, we're going to do the same corners that we have been doing, where we're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet into every corner. Okay, but on the sides we're going to double crochet in each stitch and then 1 double crochet in each chain as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish this side, and then right when I get to the corner I'll meet you up there and show you the corner. Okay. Okay, so I'm coming up upon my first side. And remember, we were doing double crochets in each stitch and 1 double crochet in each chain space also all the way across. Okay, so I have 3 more double crochets right there that I need to put a double crochet in the top of. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I'm at the corner. And now we're going to do the corners just like we did the corners before. We're going to do 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 more double crochets. Okay, so now we just keep going. Now we keep going down the next side, and that's going to be a double crochet in each double crochet and a double crochet in each chain space all the way across, and then we'll do that, and then in the corners we'll do 3 double crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet, and we're going to do that all the way around until we get back to the beginning of this round. So I'm going to keep going, and I will meet you up when I get ready to join at the join to the beginning of this round. Okay, so we're at the end of the round, and so I'm just going to finish up this corner. Remember, we already have the 3 double crochets, three double crochets in this corner. So now I'm going to finish the corner up. So 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, then chain 2. And then all we have to do now is to slip stitch into the top of the chain, the first chain 3. So slip stitch. Okay, so there you go. So now we have one more round to go. So it says to fasten this color off. So I'm going to chain up 1 and pull it all the way through to fasten it off. Okay. Now, so in order to go on to our next round, you're going to turn your work one more time, so you will be ending off this on the wrong side of the work. Okay, so yeah, I have some. Once I get around this, I do have a few ends I'm going to have to weave in. Okay, so you insert your hook into any corner. Take your final yarn that you're going to use. I'm going to end mine with the red. I like the red for the edging. So pull up a loop, chain 1 to secure it. Okay, now in this corner and in every corner around, I'm going to put 5 single crochets. So 1, and I'm working over this my beginning my beginning thread, I guess you'd say, the beginning tail. There you go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so 5 single crochets in the corner. Now, it says to slip stitch into the next double crochet. So, next stitch, I'm going to slip stitch. Okay, and then it says the next stitch, it says to double crochet. And then that's all we do. So we alternate. We slip stitch into the next one, and then double crochet in the next one. Okay, and then we do a slip stitch in the next one. Oh, I did a single. I gotta pull that out. Start again. Slip stitch, not single. Slip stitch, and then double in the next one. Okay. Then you slip stitch, and then you double crochet in the next one. Okay, so you keep doing that all the way across, alternating a slip stitch and a double crochet in each stitch. And then when you get to the corner, you do 5 single crochets in each corner. Okay, and then that's all you do. So you do 5 single crochets in the corners, and then you alternate, starting with the slip stitch. You alternate slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet, like that all the way across. Get to the corner, 5 single crochets in the corner space, and then start with the slip stitch, and you slip stitch and then double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet in each stitch around. And then you come to the next corner, do 5 single crochets, and then start with a slip stitch, and then alternate slip stitch, double crochet, and so on, okay? And then when you come back up to this point, I will meet you up and we will fasten off together, okay? Okay, so I'm almost to the end. So we are slip stitching and double crocheting on the side. So continuing up to the end, I have double crochet, and then I have slip stitch, double crochet, slip stitch into my last stitch, and now all I have to do now is connect to the first single crochet of this 5 single crochet group. And that's the end of it. So chain up 1 and then pull your yarn through. I've got a long tail, I'm just going to pull it all the way through. Okay, so now all I have to do is fasten off and weave in my ends, and I will be finished. Thank you so much for following this tutorial along with me, and a big thank you to Roberta Dooley, the designer of this pattern, and for giving me permission to film this tutorial. So I hope everybody had a great time following this tutorial, and hopefully this stitch, this technique of this type of blanket will be very beneficial to everyone that will want to give it a try and make lots of blankets in the future. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!